Well, it's time to storm ExoGeni Headquarters. I always forget what these people are called. They sort of fall off the map after this point. Although ExoGeni in Mass Effect 1, they seem to be building some intrigue with it, because, like, no matter where they are always connected to something involving Cerberus. It's not overstated, it's just something you sort of notice if you read all of the text blurbs that come up. Like, they've always got some message hidden away in one of their dungeon areas that's from Cerberus involving some experiment or something they're shipping to. And ExoGeni's name pops up in a number of the Cerberus side quests. It's really quite sinister, but ExoGeni themselves, they just sort of stop being a thing after Mass Effect 1. Like, they're mentioned. There's this data pad at the beginning of Mass Effect 3 where this really annoyed office worker is sending a very strained but polite refusal to one of ExoGeni's many, many offers to help at the Mars research base.
Being all passive-aggressive, are we?
It's like, as we said the last 5 times, we're not interested. Go away.
That goes straight from passive to just straight aggressive.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I'm gonna go as far as this chapter of the story is concerned. Anyway, we found Lisbeth. This is the woman's daughter, the one she asked us to find, the one Zhang was so sure was dead, and we just sort of run into her. That wasn't very hard.
Is she going to die on the way back?
No.
No, not exactly.
Well, I don't think she will, unless you do something really horrible. Oh, yeah, there is a point where she jumps out of the Mako and runs to her mother, and you have the choice to either leave her be or go off on your own way. And I think it's implied that if you leave her be, she either gets in serious trouble or gets outright killed. But we'll get to that when we get to it. That's going to be the next time we see Zhang. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, there's some sort of Lovecraftian plant monster under the goddamn colony, and it has the ability to infect people's brains with spores that lets it control their minds.
That old chestnut!
So, they jettisoned whatever was left of The Last of Us onto this planet, and we haven't run into it again.
Well, fortunately, it doesn't turn people into fungus zombies. It just sort of... It spores in your brain. They inject a pain response, a very strong pain response, whenever you try to do something that the Thorian doesn't want you to do. So you can live your life as much as you know, freely as you want, as long as you're also doing what the Thorian wants you to do.
That's not really freely, though.
Well, like when the Thorian is not directly telling you to do something or not to do something, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you can resist its influence, which is what that guy in the sewers was doing. But that involves dealing with the pain response.
Is it like a headache?
It's like the worst headache.
So what happens if it infects a masochist?
That might have been what happened with the guy in the sewers, considering the way he was talking. Anyway, yeah, there are a few places in the ExoGeni building that are wide open, and no matter how many times I play this game, I always forget where the door I'm supposed to go out of the room is. So I always wind up having to check the map. Yeah.
Just look
For the most part, the levels are pretty linear in design, so you can't really get too lost.
Well, the thing is, with this room, there's only one way out. You can't even go back the way that you've already been, because you dropped down here, and you can't get back the way you came. You can't climb up, it's too high. So you have to find...
We don't have upper body strength.
Yeah,
or
so
jetpacks.
the one exit marked on the map is the only way to go.
Yeah, and every time you see, like, a staircase or something, it's like, oh, there's rubble preventing you from going downstairs. So it's like, there's a very clear pathway they make you go, you know?
Yeah, Mass Effect is in Final Fantasy 13 linear, but it is a very linear... I would call it Icewind Dale linear. It's got that open sense of localized exploration, but... You're very clearly going from A to B to C to D. There just might be an A.5 and a B-6 along the way.
I see rubble Rubble in stairs is always my least favorite method of railroading a player to go a specific way. And even games like Resident Evil 7 do it to some extent, where I think the most egregious example is a washer and dryer set. Like, I can just jump over this shit. Why do I gotta make a U-turn?
A washer? I could climb on top of a washer and dryer.
Or there's like some patio chairs in the way. It's like, I can't just go around it.
like at one point I'm playing Resident Evil 7 and it's like, I need 3 dog heads in order to open this door. Why don't you just break the windows?
Yeah.
There's not even, they're not even barred, they're just windows.
The thing about that is that's purely a video game thing. Like,
no, we know it's just one of those. You stop to think about it for 2 seconds, and it's kind of like you're an idiot.
If someone tries to pull that shit in a pen and paper game, there's nothing to stop the players from saying, well, I'm going to try climbing over that, or I'm going to try busting it down, or, you know what, let's sit here for 3 hours and try to move some of this rubble. And the DM has to do it. The DM has to see if they can. He has to roll the dice. It's just something that has to be done. And if he didn't plan for it, well, he sucks.
The dogs jump through the windows, you die. Yeah, now do my puzzle. Yeah. Oh,
my armor class is like over 9,000. That is not going to fly. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, we have ourselves a very bland VI that kind of reminds me of Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation and the way he talks.
No wonder they were behaving so strangely.
And that's all I've got to say about this guy. He's just an info dump for what's going on at ExoGeni Headquarters. But now we find that we can't contact our ship because the...
Well, I don't know if the Joker would really be helpful in this situation. This seems more like a job for Mr. Freeze or Scarecrow.
Unfortunately, the Geth are jamming our communications, so we need to take care of the Geth before we can communicate with Joker.
The strawberry jam?
He asked you a question.
So, you can just say, please access my personal files, and since you've got Elizabeth's ID right now, the VI is too stupid to recognize from your face that you are not, in fact, Elizabeth. This seems like a pretty shitty flaw in the company's security protocols, you know?
So could we potentially also just roll up a cardboard cutout at the person and go, hello, I am whatever the name is. Please grant me access to whatever.
Have you seen Fight Dad?
Well, I mean, it's 2183, where we've advanced into galactic space. We're mingling with like 5 or 6 hyper-advanced alien species, and we still don't have biometrics worth a damn. Like, what? My phone has better security than this goddamn company. I need to use my fingerprint to open my phone. And that's my fucking Android phone from 2014 or so. It's an S5. It's not even like the second to latest model.
Well, you see, that's the problem. Current technology in the Mass Effect universe currently uses S7 batteries, which we all know how that went in the Great Battery War of 2172.
Not to mention, fingerprints aren't exactly good security either. Nothing stopping someone from just chopping off another person's hand and using it.
Well, yeah, but at that point, you know, you can't just pick someone's pocket. It's significantly difficult. It's significantly more difficult to chop off someone's hand than it is to steal their card while they aren't looking. Okay, Species 37. Okay, can we just call it the fucking pod zombie machine? Because that's all it is.
Is it intelligent? Can I reason with it?
The Thorian does not exhibit the
You think it's a chill guy?
Well, here's the thing.
Hey, you want to play Dungeons and Dragons?
You see, that's an actually legitimate question. Is the Thorian intelligent? Can I reason with it? The answers are yes, it is, and yes, you could have if Saren hadn't screwed it over 2 hours before you got here. So, no, you can't reason with the Thorian. You can try, and you get a totally logical response as to why you can't. But, yeah.
Better idea. I challenge you to a game of my choosing. If I win, you stop doing whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah. The thing is, the Thorian, it's one of those examples of, it's a monster that's in this game purely to be a boss, but they wrote it in such a way that you kind of feel sorry that you don't have that you can't leave it behind. I mean, sure, it's enslaved the colonists at ExoGeni Headquarters. It's a survival thing, so you can't really fault it too much for that. But you know, you kind of want to you kind of want to see if you can get through the situation without killing it, because it's this ancient life form that seems to be unique because no one's ever seen anything like this thing anywhere else in the galaxy so far. And you're about to kill the only one you've found, possibly driving the species to extinction.
I think that's a lot of video games, especially ones like these with a lot of dialogue and talking. You kind of wish that there were more non-violent approaches to options.
Yeah, but you know what? It's especially frustrating in this case because the Thorian has been around since the Protheans were here, which means it's like the single example, well, one of the two examples of hyper-intelligent advanced life that was not wiped out by the Reapers. It stands as an example that A, the Reapers are not perfect, you know, they have problems, and B, you know, if this thing survived, you know, it could tell us so much about the history of the galaxy, and we had to kill it. It's such a shame. And yeah, the Geth actually actively worship religiously the Reapers. They've constructed altars to the Reapers.
Aren't they robots?
They've constructed makeshift on-site altars to the Reapers on their freshly conquered battleground, and they are bowing before it.
Oh, Ryan, even Futurama has robot hell.
That's a different thing altogether.
Some kind of church.
Why would a synthetic devote resources to things like this? Ah, jeez. Always underestimating the Geth.
Can it love?
I guess what they're saying is they don't fear the Reaper.
Well, they should. Jesus Christ.
But they don't, so...
Do these units have a soul?
The Reapers make themselves the enemies of the Geth, too.
And you said those things aren't...
Do Geth dream of electric shepherds?
God damn it, Kaiden, get out of my way.
Well, that was an...
Bitch. It's a bitch.
That's my favorite thing to do with the Geth.
That was an oddly blunt approach to doing it.
The melee attacks in Mass Effect 1 are a bit tough to control. Basically, you use the attack button when an enemy is in close range, and you'll elbow the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
But it's the same button that you shoot with. So sometimes if an enemy slips in underneath your camera, you'll elbow them without meaning to, instead of shooting. No, it's not the... No, I got that mixed up. It's not the shoot button, it's the run button.
No, I think it's the shoot button.
Which is also the cover button. Which is also the... Oh god, it's the everything button. It's the spacebar.
Does it also let you light speed dash?
No.
Does it let us bounce on the ground in a ball?
It might as well be Sonic the Hedgehog's fucking boost dash, though, because in Mass Effect 1, you sprint like a motherfucker. You just zip across the battlefield. It's ridiculous. And,
Shepard has been trying to force us to do some more cost-effective measures, and now she wants us to do what she dubs the prick shove.
In Mass Effect 2 and 3, your running motion is more of a reasonable human speed run, you know?
This elbow check works on Geth, but it doesn't work very well on, you know, Krogan. So don't check the Krogan.
Yeah, the Krogan will run up and try to melee you, but you cannot melee them back. If you're ever in that situation, just unload your shotgun into their face and back away quickly. And if you're playing on a insanity mode, don't even bother with the backing away quickly, because they will just sprint right at your face and continue elbowing you.
Sounds like how you handle elites in Halo.
Krogans in insanity mode are the worst fucking thing. They never stop sprinting into your face. You basically have to kill them before they get to you, otherwise you're fucked. But you can't kill them before they get to you because they have so much health, so you're going to want to use biotics to make them hover or something so that they can't get to you. And hopefully kill them before they land and get up. Fortunately, if you manage to catch any enemy in the game in a hover biotics skill, they basically fall to the ground like a ragdoll and take forever getting back to their feet. So, yeah. I just realized I was actually going in the correct direction instead of the wrong direction, so I need to go back and go the wrong way so that I can get the stuff that's hidden the wrong way.
It's always the worst. That's the worst feeling in every game. Oh, crap, this is the story. No, either I go forward, or I might potentially lose out forever on those, like, 5 potions that I'm not going to use.
Well, there is a reason that I think that I want to go down this specific pathway, because I think that data that Gavin wanted me to get when I met Jong is over this way. And you want to do this if you're importing to Mass Effect 3, because this is one of a number of quests that factor into Conrad Verner's final appearance. And if you do all of them in Mass Effect 1, you get an extra war asset, basically. It was BioWare's idea of a joke. Just cram all these seemingly inconsequential things into one quest and have them all affect the outcome. And it's basically just a checklist of menial tasks that causes this whole situation to resolve in a cheesy, happy ending kind of way, where Conrad Verner gets a girlfriend and you get some extra resources for your war, and Shepard just sort of stands there and watches the whole thing unfold with a gobsmacked look on her face. Oh man.
I'm gonna pretend I understood half of what you just said.
Basically, you do a bunch of useless stuff in Mass Effect 1, and there's this random happy ending to the Conrad Verner story in Mass Effect 3. None of it connects. None of the people involved that you helped in Mass Effect 1 have any reason to be connected to each other, and yet inexplicably, they are.
Small galaxy, ain't it?
Actually, it's several light years large, and it's incomprehensible that something so big could be tied together in such a way. It's like really a marvel.
It's all relative.
It's like I found these Asari matriarch MacGuffins in Mass Effect 1. Well, I need someone to translate them. Oh, I know this guy who can do that. And it turns out that guy that can do that is this other guy that you helped in Mass Effect 1 on another planet entirely. Okay.
Just never thought to ask him.
Oh man. And Conrad Verner knows this guy for some reason. Oh man. Whew. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's a text entry that connects this facility to a side quest involving Cerberus.
So do you need to find it in order to do that side quest, or is it just fluff? Info?
You can find the planet with a side quest on it on your own, but finding this text entry marks it in your journal and tells you what system to visit to find the quest.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's that situation where you can either blindly fumble into it because you're running through the game for completion, or you can only do the stuff that you find information on. Okay. You know, if you want to role play and you don't want to be that video gamey hero who just goes everywhere and does everything and pokes through every treasure chest, you can use these info dumps to have a reason to go do these specific side quests.
Or sometimes you just can't be bothered. You know, it's just like, I don't feel like exploring every individual planet. I'm going to do the ones that sound like they make sense.
Yeah. You know, it just depends on what kind of playthrough that you want to do. And this game, it lets you do both for the most part. It's kind of like The Witcher 3. In the sense that, yeah, the game gives you a mini-map with all the little Ubisoft icons and stuff for your sandboxing, but if you don't want to play it that way, you can turn the mini-map off, and the dialogue and world design are more than sufficiently well crafted that you can, you know, you can play it like a traditional role-playing game and explore with your eyes and your memory.
Can you turn the mini-map off on and still have turn the icons off? Because whenever I get very attached to my mini-map. In some games, I actually navigate better by looking at the mini-map than by actually walking around on the screen.
I honestly don't remember, but you do have a map function that you can pull up whenever you get lost, so it's not like you're running completely blind. And the map function contains all of the icons and stuff anyway, so it's just like you have the benefit of it. Oh, there's another mention of Cerberus and another system that you can go to investigate them. God damn it, Cerberus.
Puzzle time.
Yeah.
Wait,
This is a fair...
Wait,
Huh?
what? Puzzle? What?
Yeah. This is a fairly simple puzzle. You have to adjust the... Basically, this machine is in serious need of maintenance. If you like the safety shut off will cause it to collapse in on it. Will cause the system to shut down if the pressure gets too high. It shouldn't do that. But basically what that means is, in order to get this thing to work and shut the door on the Geth ship, you need to use these buttons to get the pressure into a very precise point where it will activate the gate but won't activate the shutoff.
So we
This is
need
retro
to.
Resident Evil.
Well, yes, that's one thing, but also we need to keep the air pressure inside a bit lower. Get Tom Brady on the phone.
There we go.
Time to let him off the hook.
Sports jokes.
Well, no, that was more of a Schwarzenegger pun, but
Yeah. Now that one of the ship's claws has been cut off, the thing can't support its own weight and it's falling.
It was a load-bearing column.
I regret nothing.
shit.
Where was the kaboom?
Yeah, he just cuts to her with their ear exposes.
And that's shattering kaboom.
Captain, no splash.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And now Joker can finally get through to us, and it turns out he's having some trouble of his own.
Oh no.
There are zombies, Commander.
Yeah, the citizens of Zoo's hope that we busted our asses to help out. They've gone all ganado on our asses, and they're trying to bust into the ship. Well, fortunately, the ship's made of metal, so they can't, but...
You mean we saved their village, and what do they give us but a zombie invasion? Man, that's rude.
Well, Joker, I guess all I can do is lock the door and hope they don't have blasters.
There's this guy with a bag over his head. He's got a chainsaw. I don't know what to do.
Well, they have blasters, but they don't have anything that can penetrate a military frigate, so...
Zombies probably would have better aim than a stormtrooper. Like, I don't know if the rotting flesh would have enough tension to actually pull a trigger, but I bet if they trip, they'd probably hit something more often than a stormtrooper would.
We'll find some way to weaponize rigor mortis.
Well, Joker, all I know how to do with those leather bad guys is just to, shoot them in the face and then roundhouse kick them. Oh, sorry, Joker.